So casually keep diving into concrete, so bittersweet, huh? Keep losing sleep while driving in the backseat.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited because I went and placed a few online orders and I wanted to kind of like try out a few products that I have been eyeing lately, and just products that I feel like have been capturing my attention whenever I am on the internet, just like everyone else, and like looking at makeup videos and looking at just beauty content in general. So your girl placed an Ulta order. So we have an Ulta haul. I'm gonna just go ahead and take everything out of the bag just to reduce all the noise. Then we will start with everything that I picked up from Ulta. Okay, so let's jump into this video because I am filming a couple of videos today. So I want to go ahead and just start playing around and like testing out these products. And if some of these things do not work, I'm gonna have to send them back. And I did a pickup order for Monday. It's a few days later, so I kind of want to stay within the time frame of being able to return some things if I need to. Okay, so first let's start out with hair care products. I only got one hair care product, which is actually a second pickup because I purchased this a little while ago and I have been trying to use it every single day. And it is the Sacred Restoring Hair and Edge Drops. And I can't say for sure if it's working yet because in my opinion, I have been using it on my edges and like throughout my entire head. But I think this time around, I'm going to just use it on my edges just to see if it does in fact really work. And then if it does and my edges starts to like, you know, grow in the areas that I need it to grow in, then I will go back with putting it throughout my whole entire head. So this is my second bottle of the Sacred Drops. What I do like about the product is it's not like thick and oily, like greasy, like it's very like watery consistency. And so I do like that. And you can use it on wet or dry hair. But I do want to say that if you are using it on dry hair and you have like natural hair, it will make your hair kind of revert back and curl up. So that's something that you should keep in mind if you want to try out this product. But also too, the reason why I like the watery consistency is because when I got to like the very end of my bottle, the dropper, it wasn't picking up the product anymore. But I was able to kind of like turn the bottle upside down and like pour it in my hands, and it came out perfectly fine. So I do like that aspect of it because I feel like if it was more of a thicker consistency, it would be harder to like get out of the bottle. So yeah, that was the only hair care product I like repurchased, and we're just gonna move on to another repurchase. So the second thing that I repurchased is the L'Oreal Infallible Defy Transfer Spray. I really like this spray a lot, and I have been picking this up more than any of my other sprays when it comes to trying to keep my makeup in place, especially during the summertime. So I guess I will just probably have this for a while because we're now transitioning into the colder months. So I don't think I'm going to pick this one up as much, but I did just want to get my hands on it just in case, because if you guys know, they love discontinuing a product or trying to change something. And so I just want to have like another backup of this just in case. I just want to be on the safe side. So yeah, I picked up another one of these. This is my second pickup as well. So now moving on to products that are a first for me. So I don't have a lot, but it was some things that caught my attention here and there while watching some videos. And so I kind of just wanted to test it out for myself and see how I felt about it. And one of those products are the Urban Decay All Nighter Up to 24-Hour Wear Makeup Setting Spray. So as you guys know, or if you don't know, they have reformulated their setting spray and came out with like, you know, a more up-to-date setting spray. And from what I have been seeing, a lot of people have been saying they haven't really had an issue with their all-nighter setting spray, but you know, I guess Urban Decay just kind of wanted to make some tweaks on their products. So I did pick this up as well. I do still have the older version of this, but I just wanted to, you know, be in the know, test it out and see for myself. So I decided to pick this up to try it out. Next up, this wasn't in particular like a product that I felt like I've been seeing here and there, but I did see something that like kind of caught my attention and I wanted to try it. So if you guys don't know, I love Morphe like makeup brushes. I used to be a BH Cosmetics girl when it came to my makeup brushes when I first started doing makeup. And like when I say a BH Cosmetics girl, like majority of my brushes are from there. And then over time, when other brands started coming out with like the beauty boxes and stuff, I was able to be put on to like other brands and their brushes and stuff. So like my brush collection kind of expanded. But as of lately, I have been into the Morphe brushes. So I picked up the Morphe M103 foundation brush, and I'm not sure, like, even though they have like what the brushes are for, when you get to like a certain point in doing your makeup, sometimes you find that you can use brushes for multiple different reasons and multiple different ways. So this is what the brush looked like. And honestly, I may or may not do this today, but I did get this brush to kind of like do my concealer underneath my eyes, because I seen someone in a video, they wasn't using a Morphe brush, but they was using a different brand, and it was kind of like similar in shape to this one. And so I was like, oh wow, I never thought to like use that as a concealer brush. And so I don't know, we might test this out today and see what it gives. Okay, so moving right along to another product I am intrigued to try. This is the Too Faced chocolate. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that word, but this is the Too Faced Melting Bronzing in Sculpting Stick. I got this in the shade Chocolate Mocha. I have seen while doing some research online that they wish that the shade range was a little bit more diverse, as far as like they just have like a small range of like bronze and contouring shades. So I wanted to try something other than my By Mario makeup stick. And this is such like a cute, like sleek packaging. Almost gives like lipstick in a sense, but I love the chocolate color and the gold around the rim. And so this is what that color looks like. I'm definitely going to test this out today to see, you know, how I like it. Again, this is a bronzing stick, not a contour stick. So I'm not really sure what the difference is, but I do know that the bronze look is in right now for the fall time. And as of lately, pretty much bronzing is in. So I did want to give this a try. So next up, I picked up this Morphe Cheek and Thrills palette, and I got the shade Blind Date, which is like a mid-tone pinky rose color. I've just been into more of like the more natural pinks and stuff like that. I'm not really into like, well, I don't know for sure. I can't really say, but what I will say is I'm not into like spending my own money on buying colors that I just feel like I'm not going to really use. But if I have the opportunity to try them out, I will. But I just kind of like try to stick to like what I know. This is what the palette looks like on the outside. And then if I can get this open, and then this is what the colors on the inside looks like. So just like some really pretty pinks. So what I like about this palette and what drew me to the Morphe palette is they have like the cream shade, then they have like a highlighter shade, and then they have just like your regular like powder blush shade. So I just feel like you kind of get like an all-in-one, and it was for a very decent price, I will say. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll place it somewhere on the screen. But yeah, I wanted to see what this was about. I've been going into Ulta like a few times here and there, and I've been like eyeing the palettes, just kind of like looking at it, but I was like, I don't know. But I feel like lately I have been using my Danessa Myricks blushes a lot. and I'm just like, you know what, let me try out another brand and see what it's giving. Okay, so I have 2 more things to show, and then we'll just get started with doing our makeup. So I picked up the Kylie Cosmetics Skin Tint Blurring Elixir. I picked this up in the shade 8.5W, and I have been seeing Natasha like rave about using the skin tint and how much she likes it, and I have been really enjoying the way that her looks have been coming out using this product in particular. So this is what that looks like. It's just a cute, like, small little sleek bottle. I do like that a lot because I feel like just for travel purposes, just something so like small, quaint, and cute will like easily be able to be thrown in your bag without taking up so much space. So I'm excited to see like how I like this and how this works for me, and I really hope that this shade works because I don't really think the other shades will work for me just because of the undertones, and I'm not at a place yet where I feel comfortable buying 2 products all the time and having to like blend it to get my correct shade. So we're gonna pray that this is my correct shade. Okay, so the last thing I picked up, which I feel like I have one of these, but I don't think I have this shade in particular. I picked up this NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and I picked this up in the shade Medium Dark 3 Amande. I think that's how you say the name. But I was watching this girl on TikTok, and she was using it as like a base for her eyelids. And you guys know that I'm always using concealer to use as a base on my eyelids, and I just thought having something like this, like very quaint and small, would really work. And the way it went on her eyes was super like skin like, so I kind of wanted that like illusion for sometimes when I'm doing like simple makeup looks, or if I want to do like a makeup no makeup look. So I'm hoping that this is more of like around my shade a little bit. We'll see how we like it, and if I do like it, especially like on my eyelids, I might go like and get a lighter shade to use as like something underneath my eyes when I just want to do something very simple and not too much. So that was everything that I picked up from Ulta. Let's just jump into this video, try out these products, and see what we think. Okay, so hopefully today I kind of like fixed my video quality in a sense, but let's go ahead and get started with priming. I already pretty much like prepped my brows because I just wanted that to go ahead and like sit, and so I can like go through with my steps and everything like that very quickly. So first thing we're gonna do is add some primer, and then we're gonna go in and add some of the NARS concealer to the lids. And first up, I am going to be using my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. Before we like go in on our lids with the concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and outline my brows using my Precisely brow pencil in the shade 4.5. So I always kind of like start out with just a little bit of something because sometimes I can overdo it with my brows. So we're gonna stop right there and go ahead and start with using our NARS concealer on my lids. So I'm gonna go in with like a flat top brush to apply the concealer to my lids and carve out underneath my brows. And as you guys can see, I do think it is kind of giving more of like my skin tone, skin like. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm seeing in person, but so far this is what I was looking for. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set my lids using my One Size Translucent setting powder, and then we're just gonna keep it very like neutral and basic as always, because again, I just want to try out these products, so I don't want to do anything crazy and overdo it. So now we have the eyes set, and I do want to say I really, really like using this a lot more just because I feel like I have like a little bit more control of like it being more just like a thin layer and more skin like I said. So I do think I am going to invest in like a lighter shade just to use underneath my eyes. And sometimes if I want like a little bit more of a brighter look more than a like skin light look, because right now I honestly feel like I don't really have to add eyeshadow if I don't want to, but I am gonna add just a little bit anyway, just to see how well eyeshadow applies on top. So yeah, so far I really do like this, and this was exactly what I was looking for. I'm pretty excited about that. So as you guys can tell, I really love my By Mario makeup palette. So these are the shades that we have right here. And I'm just gonna go in with this palette and like just do like a very simple eye look. So I'm just gonna take like this fluffy brush and just take a dark shade, not too dark, but just something very simple. And we're gonna go in our crease. Now I'm just gonna go in with like more of a base color, natural tone for the rest of my lid. So I'm just going to take some mascara, apply it to my lashes, and we are going to move on to the rest of the face. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next steps. I am going to be going in with my Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. Okay, so next up we are going to add some of the bronzer shade. I'm going to start out with the bronzer first. I don't know if it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. I guess we'll figure it out as we go. But again, I have the shade Chocolate Mocha, and this is the Melting Bronzing and Sculpting Stick. Right off the bat, I will say it is very creamy. And of course, it has like that Tootsie Roll chocolate smell. Ooh, it's kind of breaking a little bit. I don't have anywhere to put it. I'm just gonna leave that there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and like blend it out. I'm just taking like this flat top old BH Cosmetics brush, and I'm just gonna blend up. Right off the bat, I do think this is like a really pretty shade. And I'm definitely getting that bronziness that I like. And dare I say, I might like this a little bit more than my other bronzing stick. I do feel like I need to get like another shade in my By Mario stick. But honestly, I really like this one a lot. I did kind of go up just a little bit too high on this side. So I'm going to kind of like wipe it off a little bit, just so like when I add in my blush, it won't look too crazy. So I'm going to take a little bit of that broke off, and I'm going to add that on this side. So I am going to go in with that a little bit more and a little bit just to kind of like do a little contour on my nose. But so far, I do think that I got like a pretty good shade. I wasn't looking for anything too contouring like. So I really do like this for like bronzing and bringing like some warmth to my skin. So now we are going to move on to the blush really quickly, and I'm going to go in with the Morphe Cheeks Thrills Multi-Finish Face Trio palette in the shade Blind Date. Okay, so I did go in with quite a bit just because the color payoff is pretty light. And I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing, but I'm not going to judge it just yet because this is the cream and not like the actual powder shade. So far, I feel like I could go with like a darker pink tone, but we're going to keep going and see like what it does. I don't want to judge it just yet. Next up, we're going to go in with our NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the shade Caramel. I just really been enjoying this concealer lately, so we're just going to take some of that. So while I let that sit for just a bit, I am going to go ahead and like transition into the Kylie Cosmetic Skin Tint Blurring Elixir. And again, I got the shade 8.5. Just going to give this a good shake. And I'm just going to like apply it on the back of my hand. It is very liquidy, very watery. So this is what that looks like. So I'm going to apply just a little bit more because it's very like thin. So I'm going to take my Morphe brush in the M439 and I'm just going to take some of that on the back and apply it. So far it's given this is the correct shade. I'm just going to apply some more on the back of my hand. I just don't want to apply too much because it is very watery. I am going to take a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury spray and I'm just going to spray in the middle of my face so I can blend out my concealer. So I'm going to take this Morphe M103 brush. So let's test this out and see how we feel about it being a concealer brush. Okay, so honestly, it's not bad at all. It does kind of like take a little bit to kind of get used to just because it is like a thicker brush. But it's like very soft. It's not hard or brittle at all. They do have a concealer brush that is basically shaped just like this. I can show you guys, which is this brush right here. So this is the foundation brush and this is the concealer brush. I just kind of wanted to test it out and see because like I said, when it comes to makeup, you do not have to follow the rules. You can do whatever you want to do. So I'm not mad at it being a concealer brush, but I'm also not mad at it for what it's supposed to be for either. So I guess do what you will with that information, but I am in love with my concealer brush. I just wanted to test this out because I saw something and I just had to get it out of my head and test it out for myself. So both of these brushes are very nice. I can't say for foundation because I didn't use it for foundation, but I will venture off and say it's probably a good foundation brush as well. I just really enjoy Morphe brushes a lot. So let's go ahead and like set our face with the One Size powder. And then we're going to move on to set in the blush that we already applied with the cream with the powder blush part to the Morphe Trio palette. So I am going to take a little bit more of the foundation just because now that we have everything else applied, I just kind of want to like go in a little bit in some areas that I feel like could use a little bit more. I'm also going to like bronze up the face just a little bit more. So I'm going to take some more of this bronzing stick. We're not going to forget our nose, so I'm going to get like a smaller brush and add some of that to contour the nose as well. I am going to take my by Mario Soft Scope Transforming Skin Protector in the shade Medium Dark to set that area that I like bronzed. So now we're going to set the blush. I'm just going to take the same trio palette and use this blush right here. So now we're going to set the rest of our face, and I am going to be taking my NYX powder in the shade Medium Dark. I do kind of want to go back into my by Mario sculpting palette, and I'm just going to warm up my face a little bit more. Okay, so lastly, we're going to, well, not lastly, but next up, I am going to take my Charlotte Tilbury spray again, and I am going to spray my face, and then I'm going to do the final spray using my all-nighter makeup setting spray. Okay, for lips, I have like a little bit of a trio here. So I'm going to take the Fenty Beauty lip liner in the shade I Wouldn't. And then next up, I am going to take my MAC lip liner in the shade Chestnut. So next up, I am going to take my NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Madeline. And then I'm also going to take my NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Sugar High. I'm going to go back in with some of my MAC Chestnut. So I picked up this NYX Butter Gloss Bling, and I got it in the shade Bring the Bling. And it just like has like gold and like pinky, like gold reflective tones. Not too much. Okay, so this is the final look and my final thoughts on everything. I like it all. I didn't want to speak too soon on the blush because I just wanted to like finish out the entire process first before I like went out and made a bold statement and say, no, I don't like it. And that's why I'm big on trusting the process sometimes. Like sometimes it don't look like what it's supposed to be, but then it ends up being exactly what it's supposed to be. And what I got from this blush, like just looking at it in my mirror and like looking at it on myself, is giving exactly what I wanted it to do. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hesitant about it, but I like that it just makes me look flushed, and I just kind of like that look. I guess I've been seeing it a lot lately, and I'm like, I really love that baby blushy look on people, and I really like this on myself because I'm not big on like, well, I wasn't big on blush until I started like really like getting into like the creams and then finishing it off with like the powder and stuff like that. Like I really like this look a lot. It's very natural, very like everyday. Like I really genuinely like the Kylie Cosmetics. I do feel like because if I would have tried to use this a while back while my skin was kind of purging, I probably wouldn't like this. This is definitely very skin-like. I think the reason why the consistency is so watery is because it's supposed to give literal skin tint. Like some skin tints, I be questioning like, is this really a skin tint or is this like a foundation, but y'all just presenting it as a skin tint? But for this one in particular, I do feel like it's definitely given if you want to have like a very natural look and look like you didn't really do anything, this is the way to go. But after like applying everything and like finishing off everything and doing like the whole entire look, I feel like it came together very well, very perfectly. I do have like some imperfections like peeking out, but I'm okay with that. It's fine. I enjoy using this bronzer as well. I do feel like the next time I will go in a little bit more with it, because I feel like you definitely can build this up and give more of that warmth look if you want to. So I feel like maybe for a date night or something, I can go in with a little bit more of this and just kind of look very bronzy and like good. But overall, like, I genuinely am in love and happy with the makeup. I didn't do too much on my brows today, which I am okay with, but the brows ain't even the star of the show right now. So literally everything all the way down to the brush, I really did like. The NARS concealer, I really did like. The bronzer, I really did like. The skin tint, really did like. Urban Decay set my face very perfectly and super nice. The blush trio kit, love it. So literally everything I got, I am very pleased with. I'm very happy with. I'm so glad I don't have to take anything back. But yeah, so I don't want to draw out this video too much longer because I feel like we had got a 2-for-1 in this video. So if you guys have made it this far in the video, please make sure you subscribe to my channel, share my video, leave me down some comments below, and make sure y'all turn on that notification bell so you will be notified every time I post a video. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.